Hey everybody, welcome to Being Kambua. So happy that you are here. My name is Kambua. So glad that you have joined us. If you're joining us for the first time, karibu sana, make this place your home and make sure hii episode ikisha you bring more people to the premiere next week. Here on Being Kambua, we talk about so many different things, from trying to have a baby, trying to sustain a pregnancy, breastfeeding, trying to have another baby, all of those things we talk about here. Menstruation, endometriosis, a whole lot of things. And I keep asking you guys, what do you want us to talk about? And many of the conversations we're having have actually come from you. You have said, we want to hear about this. We need help with our breastfeeding. We need help with this. So we listen and then we bring you the experts, because you know me, I'm not an expert. I just facilitate these conversations. I am literally figuring life out as a mom as we go. Okay. And as we start, I have to say a big thank you to Dusit Princess for this amazing space that we get to use. A big shout out to Trudy Pictures for just working to make sure that we look and we sound right. Big thank you to Joy and Carol for making sure that we all are made up and looking good. Sonny for just working really hard behind the scenes and tying a lot of things together. So now that we have that out of the way, I want to tell you about my guest today. I met Karen 5.5 years ago when my son Nathaniel was born. And I was just telling her a few minutes ago that when I met her, I was in the ghetto of motherhood. I was in the thick of things, of trying to breastfeed. And I was just like, who invented this thing called breastfeeding? I was ready to be done. I was frustrated. I was tired. I was overwhelmed. And Lactacare messaged me and they said, hey, you had a baby. Do you need any help? That was her partner, Hannah, I think, who I chatted with at first. And they came over, visited me. Aki, Karen, thank you. Asanteni kwa kuinua dada.
You're so welcome.
Oh my gosh.
Such a pleasure and a privilege to assist you.
Thank you.
Yes.
It almost feels like it was the other day, but it's a little while now.
I'm telling you, with motherhood, you blink.
Yes.
And you've moved on to the next stage. You blink and the university.
Yes, yeah. So he's 5.5 and you were pregnant when you came to see me.
Yes.
So your baby is about the same age.
Yeah, she just turned 5.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tell me, first of all, tell me why you and Hannah decided to start Lactacare, to do breastfeeding things. What's the story behind that?
To plainly put it, Lactacare began out of a mom's desperation and determination. Hannah had just delivered her baby in 2017, and she was having trouble sustaining her milk. Her baby was really demanding.
Yeah.
And she was honestly, she was over the njahes, the porridge.
The njahes.
Correct. So she's a molecular biologist by profession.
Yeah.
So she just did a deep dive into researching on what she could do to it, more like a sustainable way to see how she can get her milk supply up. And she read about galactagogues that are known to boost milk supply.
Yeah.
So she put a recipe together, and honestly, as she says, it tasted like grass. It did. It was so horrible. It's so horrible when she baked the cookies. So she was like, you know what, Karen, I need your help. Because I've always loved being in the kitchen. I always just loved trying things out.
Yeah.
So she gave me the recipe. I tweaked it a bit. I gave it to her. And honestly, it worked.
Yeah.
Her milk supply increased.
Wow.
And I think it almost started as a joke. Those ones of, at that time, money was tight.
Okay.
So we had friends who were also breastfeeding. I was like, okay, fine, let's make them cookies. Let's take for them as a gift.
Yes.
Then one day we got a call. Oh, by the way, I got your number from so-and-so. How much are you selling the cookies for? So Hannah and I looked at each other and was, oh, wait, wow, this is actually something that people want.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's how Lactacare began, just out of her need and her determination to find a solution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And it's been 6 years of helping breastfeeding mothers just figure out the journey.
Yeah, like Kambua.
Like Kambua.
Karen, what would you say as a mom, what would you say are some of the things you thought about breastfeeding that you found out were not true? I'll give you an example. I imagined that as soon as my baby popped out, the milk would just start coming out. That is what I imagine that's how it works. What are some of the things you imagined about breastfeeding that when you got there, you're like, okay, this was not, doesn't look like I expected it to be?
First of all, breastfeeding is a personal journey. It's a unique journey for every mom.
Yes.
There are some who would struggle.
Yeah.
There are some it's an easy journey for them. But I always try to tell moms, even if you struggle, it's okay to struggle, but just don't struggle for too long. So one of the things, first of all, I always assumed breastfeeding would hurt.
Okay.
Because obviously there's somebody just sucking at your breast. You're like,
it looks uncomfortable.
Yeah. But honestly, the first time I put my baby on my breast, I shed tears.
Oh.
I was like, is this how it feels?
Yes.
Because again, personally, my breastfeeding journey was, in terms of milk supply,
good.
I didn't have a problem.
Wow.
I didn't have a problem with supply.
Thanks.
I mean, there are other challenges that women have.
Yes.
But in terms of supply, I think I was good because, again, I had walked the journey with my friend.
Yes.
With Hannah.
Yeah.
And I kind of knew what to expect from her experience, right?
Yeah.
One thing I was worried about
Yeah.
that is always a misconception is because you have smaller breasts, you won't have enough milk.
Oh.
And we have a lot of mom comes, I'm like, no, but my breasts are so small. And I keep telling them,
it has nothing
the size
to
of
do
your breast has nothing to do with how much milk.
Right.
If anything, you might even produce more than those with larger
Correct.
breasts,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I thought if baby is always fussy, always crying at the breast, it means I don't have enough milk. But a baby could be fussing over a lot of things. Maybe they're latching incorrectly, or maybe they're sick. Sometimes it's even a tongue tie. So there are other issues that we shouldn't necessarily assume that it's low milk supply.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. When you said that women are different, I remember when I had just had Nathaniel, he was at the NICU, and of course there were so many other moms at the NICU. So I remember this one day, I think it was maybe like day 2, when my milk was nowhere to be found, like nowhere. And we were, and they kept saying, he just needs it wasn't even 5 ml. It was
literally
like a
drops.
drop
Correct.
of milk. They're like, don't even worry. Hata ikitoka drops hiyo ndio tunataka. It's gold. So I remember when, I think like day 3 is when I got my drops of that really yellow stuff. What is it called? Colostrum.
Correct, yeah.
And they're like, Mama, umefanya kazi mzuri sana. So I walked, I was so proud. I walked into the NICU with my little milk. And then this lady, she was of Somali origin. She walked in with a bottle. Hers was like a much bigger bottle, and it was like 3/4 way. And she had just had her baby that afternoon. And she's like, leo hata sina maziwa. And I remember looking like, leo maziwa imekataa kukuja. I looked at the nurses like, what is this, And they're like, it's okay. It's okay. You will get there. And I think that's a big part of it for women, is just knowing that you will get there. If it doesn't happen immediately like it does for some women.
Yeah, and it's normal for it not to happen immediately.
Yeah.
Because even with the moms that we support, they have the same issue. I'm like, oh, I've just delivered my baby and I don't have milk. I'm like, you're literally not supposed to have more than 5 ml. Because colostrum is thick.
Yes.
So it doesn't flow. You can't just press your breast and just...
Yeah.
It doesn't flow because it's nice and thick, because it has all the rich nutrients needed for the baby's first days.
Yes.
So it's normal for breast milk to take up to 3 to 5 days before you even get, the little drops. So it's totally normal. You just need to focus on hydration. And we always tell our moms, carry a pump to the hospital.
Right.
Put in your hospital bag, carry a pump. So that as soon as you deliver baby, begin pumping, more like you're stimulating your body to produce the milk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does it matter if it's a manual or electric? Is there a preferred one?
We always advocate for electric because it's just more efficient.
Okay.
Can you imagine you're already tired?
Yes.
Then you have to just keep doing this with a manual pump.
Yeah.
So it's not as effective. We find that electric is. But there are some that prefer a manual. And I'm like, if whatever works for you.
Yeah.
There are some even hand expressing works for them.
Yes.
So we'll tell them whatever works for you, just as long as you're stimulating. Stimulating the breast to signal
the milk
production.
Supply, milk production. I was introduced to being engorged in a rather shocking way, because after the first few days where nothing was happening, and they're like, okay, we'll get you, I think it's called marmalade. We'll get you marmalade, and it's going to marmalade. It's going to stimulate the breast milk, and it will come and da da da. So I was drinking this stuff, and milk was still not coming. And then at some point we realized my boobs were full, but it just wasn't flowing. So now we soon had a crisis where I can't even explain it. My boobs literally became like rocks.
Yes.
Rocks. You can't even put your arms down. And the milk is not coming out. You can't think. And I was like, hey, this is how I die by breastfeeding. This is gonna happen. It was just such a stressful time. And I remember a nurse who came and she said, Kambua, I have to help you because ukiendelea hivi, you will get mastitis.
Correct.
So we have to deal with this situation. Yes. And she called my best friend, and she called another nurse, and she asked us to close the door. And I was like, what is about to happen to me? Let's just say I felt a level of pain that till today I'm like, there's that threshold of pain you feel that tears don't come out. And she was literally like hot towel, dyeing my boobs until... this guys are like, this is so... I have to describe it so you understand, because if you're a mommy, you might find yourself here. We moved from rocks to chapati, and the milk started flowing. Yeah, I'm
sure because I would assume you had a clogged duct.
Yeah.
So we always say when you have clogged ducts, and that's one of the challenge, because you have the one extreme, low milk supply.
Yes.
And then you have the other one where people are having an oversupply, or you have clogged ducts.
Yeah.
So we say you do a warm compress. But you can imagine once that clot comes out, your milk is just spraying.
Yeah. From there we started going up and up and up and up and up. I was like, I can do this thing. I think that breastfeeding is just also one of those things that makes you as a woman, not that you don't care about your body or whatever, but it almost felt like such an intrusive thing in a way that I was not used to, especially being at the hospital where every few minutes, every hour or so, a nurse is coming in, Maziwa, but I was like, am I a cow?
Correct. They just keep pinching, and it's not a slight pinch.
It's not a light pinch.
Yeah, I think after that, shame just goes out the window, honestly.
You're like, okay, here I am.
Between when you're pregnant, when they're testing the...
Correct.
And then now to squeezing, like, wow. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Man, motherhood.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It is a lot, yeah.
Why is it important for, for a baby, if possible, to get on your breast as soon as they are born?
There are several reasons for that. One, you find the baby has come from such a cozy, they've been in your tummy for so long, and now they're out in the world.
Yeah,
everything is new, everything is different. They're sensory, so we always advocate within the first hour have skin to skin contact, because it makes them feel safe. It encourages that bonding between you and baby, because that's when they're like, okay, so this is my mom, this is how she smells like, and also that feeling that you get, you might not feel it, but that feeling a mother gets, it's kind of stimulating your milk to now start being produced. So it's so important within the first hour, have skin-to-skin contact with your child.
Yeah. Okay, that's really good to know, because I hear it a lot. And of course, we do know there are situations where that is not possible.
Correct,
for different reasons.
Which is okay. If you're not able to, as soon as you're able to have your time with the baby, have skin to skin as much as possible.
Yes. Okay. I have people who sent in a couple of questions, and I want us to tackle some of these questions as we continue having our conversation.
Okay.
So this lady says, my baby is a preemie, and her first feeding after NG tube was a bottle. We fight when breastfeeding because she's used to the bottle. I feel I'm not doing enough because my milk production has also gone down. What should I do? PS, I have used lactation, cookies, uji, marmalade, cocoa. Nothing seems to be working.
Has she used Lactacare products? Let's begin there. Have you used Lactacare products?
They're really good, by the way, and they're yummy. Ooh. Oh, those cookies.
Yeah.
Okay.
So first, to deal with her low milk supply.
Yes.
Again, there are several reasons. Frequent feeding.
Yeah.
Is good. She should continue pumping.
Okay.
Again, I know right now she may feel like she's failing because baby's refusing the breast, which is normal. Especially when you introduce the bottle very early, you have nipple confusion where the baby's more prefers the bottle more. But let her just keep trying.
Okay.
Right now, I think baby is used to the excess flow from the bottle.
Yes.
So she needs to deal with her low milk supply. So tell her to contact Lactacare Kenya. We have products that can help her. But frequent feeding, frequent pumping, hydration. Make sure she's hydrating and eating a balanced diet.
Yeah.
But just tell her to keep trying. Again, you can always begin feeding with the breast a little bit, just with the baby, and then if she needs to, she can just supplement with the bottle. It's okay.
Yeah.
You know, we're always shamed. We always feel like if we're not breastfeeding, we're failing.
Yeah.
But, you know, I always say fed is best, however that looks for you, whether you're an exclusive pamper, whether you're breastfeeding, whether you're giving formula, as long as baby's happy and healthy.
Yes. Yeah. I agree with that 100. What can you do to increase your breast milk with number 2, baby number 2, especially if baby number 1, you didn't have enough milk? I'm 2 months away, and any time I remember my first 2 months experience with breastfeeding, my God.
Yeah. First, I'd like to tell her, breastfeeding experiences vary between each child. She might not have had enough milk in the first, but you might end up having a lot with the second baby.
Yes.
So preparedness is always good. Seek support. It's always good to have a village.
Yes.
We right now we tend to be doing things
alone,
in
isolation,
alone, and we feel like if we ask for help, it means we're failing. Ask for help. You'd be surprised the number of people who are willing to help you.
Yeah.
So right now, let her just enjoy the last few months.
Okay.
Begin hydration. And as I said, it's good to be armed with the information.
Yeah.
Have a pump with you when she goes to the hospital. Begin pumping as soon as baby arrives.
Okay.
Every 2 hours.
Yes.
Just to stimulate and to signal to your body that you need milk.
Yeah.
She needs to drink at least 2 to 3 liters of water. And there are things that she can, you know, lactation products if she feels like she really needs.
Yes.
She can contact us.
Okay.
And, you know, Lactacare goes beyond just giving products. We also want to be that village. If she doesn't have one, we want to provide support.
That
community, just a space where women feel safe.
Yes.
And heard and seen. So just, she can contact us. We can support her in how to be better prepared. If she's able to get a doula, or a lactation specialist, just speak to one. So it's good for her to be armed with the information that she needs.
Okay.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean just because she didn't have enough milk in the first that it will be the case this time around. Yeah.
It's different with each baby. Yeah. My child has refused to breastfeed. She used to until I went back to work. She literally gags when I put a boob in her mouth. What should I do?
Yeah. Another challenge for breastfeeding mothers. We have to go back to work.
Yeah.
It might be the situation because normally it's normal when mothers go back to work for their supply
to go down. Dip,
because baby's breastfeeding less now.
Yes.
And again, you have workplaces that are not supportive of breastfeeding mothers in terms of not providing them an environment to pump. Because we always said if you're able to pump at work, you can pump. So for now, if she finds that baby is refusing to breastfeed, let her just keep trying, but she can pump as much as possible and give baby the pumped milk.
Yeah.
Because again, breastfeeding takes different shapes and forms.
Correct.
It doesn't have to be direct. You can decide you're just going to pump, and baby can just take the breast.
Yeah.
But also to calm down, because the more you have anxiety and stress, it also has a number on your supply, and baby can feel you.
Yeah.
Right? Baby can feel your worry.
Yeah.
So it's always good to just extend yourself grace and be patient.
Yeah. I really love that we're talking about, normalizing bottle feeding and on the boob feeding. The baby's still getting nutrients, and even as you're holding that baby with a bottle, you're still bonding with your baby, because I think there's always a thing of, but if you give a bottle, you won't bond the way you bond when you're breastfeeding. There could be, a lot of science and whatever around that, but there are women who really cannot.
True.
Yeah. But you still get to bond with your child when you're doing that. I think also an advantage of breastfeeding, bottle feeding, is that you can also rest.
Correct.
and have somebody else feed your baby.
That is true.
So it's not all doom and gloom if you're having to pump and have baby take milk from the bottle.
Correct.
Yeah?
And I think it's also, there's a lot of mom shaming around
A lot,
that.
yeah.
If you're not breastfeeding the way you're supposed to breastfeed on the breast, then you're doing it wrong.
Yes.
But I always say, trust your body, trust yourself. If you need that extra hour of sleep, just pump. Just you can give the bottle.
Yeah. Because you need to rest. I remember one time I was so stressed. My milk went from like a decent supply to like a day of like nothing. And I spoke to, I also had a lactation consultant. She's a doula, lactation specialist. And I remember talking to her that day. I had that fatigue that's in your voice. And she's like, Kambua, when is the last time you slept? So she said, you know what? Today I want you to put away the breast pump. And I want you to eat, take a bath, sleep. I took her advice. And the next morning, my milk was back. Just what the fatigue also can do to you. So allowing yourself to rest when you can. Yeah.
And this is why we strongly emphasize the need for having a community, having support. Because breastfeeding drains you, it's exhausting.
Yes.
And there are people, especially, for example, if your baby is not sleeping well. So you can imagine they're asleep 30 minutes. You're just trying to close your eyes, baby's awake already.
Yeah.
So yes, and fatigue can really adversely affect your
supply.
Your supply. Any stress, any anxiety.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's, as you said, just rest.
Yeah.
Sleep.
Yeah.
That is all it takes.
Yeah.
Because now a mom would have panicked.
Yeah.
I don't have supply.
Yeah.
What should I do?
Yes.
And all they just need is rest.
And your body will do what it's supposed to do.
And it always does.
It does. It does. I want to ask you a question that is maybe a little different from this conversation, in that, mostly we want to figure out, how do I get more milk? How do I get my milk to come? But there are mothers who are trying to figure out how to get their milk to stop for different reasons. I'm going back to work, whatever, or I'm done with this breastfeeding journey, or I've had a stillbirth, or, all of those reasons, which I found myself in at one point. How can a woman who right now is just like, I need this milk to stop, what are some of the practical things that they can do?
One that I always advise, if you put a cabbage.
A cold one?
A cold cabbage.
Okay, so my community wasn't losing it. They bought me a big cabbage. They put leaves in the freezer, and we kept it.
Yeah.
But it stinks.
It does the work.
Karen, it stinks. It smells like you're boiling cabbage. Let me tell you, it's like you're boiling cabbage because your body is so hot, and then the cold, it feels very good though, the cold patch. But after it's literally steamy. It stinks. I used to be like this the whole time.
Yeah.
What is this? Okay, cool.
I mean, there's also, if you talk to your ped, there's also medication to stop breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Stop pumping.
Yeah.
But also watch out for engorgement.
Engorgement, yeah.
Yeah, so you still have to drain it, but now you can do it in the shower. Just drain. Just make sure baby does not, because the minute there's some action on there, your body is going to think you need more milk. But after a while, when you stop, like when activity stops, then the milk supply will just go down. Yeah. The cold cabbage works.
It does. It does. Stinks, but it works. And there's teas also that you can take to just I think sage was one of the teas that I got, and can't remember what the other one was, but sage worked really well for me. To stop, please, if you're breastfeeding, hear what I have said clearly.
Yes, to stop breastfeeding.
Yes, don't go drinking. You're like, maziwa yangu ilikauka. And then you blame me. What do you think of milk banks? Breast milk banks.
Fun enough, I actually, towards the end of my breastfeeding journey, I donated a lot of milk.
Did you?
Almost 40 liters.
Whoa, Karen.
I had a lot. And please, I donated 40 liters and I still had almost like 20 in my freezer.
You're those people who have your freezer is like this.
Correct. Including, yeah, because I was nearing the end and my baby was not breastfeeding that much. You could tell. You could tell it was, she was starting, she was just breastfeeding for comfort.
Yeah.
And I had so much milk and I knew she would not consume. So I advocate for them because it's important for, especially for the newborns who maybe something happened to their mother or they're not able to breastfeed and to, get breast milk. It's a good way for them to get the nutrients that they need. Yeah. So I would hope, especially for moms who are able to donate. There are so many centers around the country that would take in breast milk.
Yeah. I think, if I could donate, I would, but I was not blessed like Karen. I had enough for a week. At each point, I had enough for like a week.
Oh, no. I had a lot of milk. But also, I was following the instructions.
Yes.
There's certain things you just need to be consistent. And breastfeeding is all about consistency. So as long as you're consistent and you follow our support, you'll see results. You get milk. So as I said, when it was supply, I did have a problem with supply. But I did notice, because there were times I was so exhausted pumping. I'd sleep because around 4 or 5 months, my baby was sleeping through the night.
Wow.
But I still had to get up to pump.
Yes.
And I noticed the nights when I was like,
not
snooze.
Today.
When I woke up in the morning, if normally I'd pump 150, I'm pumping 60.
Oh, it goes down.
And I'm like, okay, let's do this again. So consistency is important.
Yes.
Really, really important when you're breastfeeding.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember with my last baby, Mama Modoni really helped me quite a bit. And, I remember her just telling me, Kambua, the consistency. We need the consistency.
Correct.
And she was on my neck. Have you pumped today? How many times have you pumped today? And sometimes we do is it called a power challenge or what are they called? The ones where you do
the power pumping.
Power
Correct.
pumping.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Can you tell us what the power pumping is?
Okay, so power pumping mimics cluster feeding. It almost tricks your brain to thinking that you need a lot of milk.
Yeah.
So power pumping is not like the normal pumps, because the normal pumps you're doing it for 20 to 30 minutes, but a power pump lasts an hour per breast.
Yes.
So if you have the double electric pump, even better, you're there for an hour.
Yes.
But if you have a single, that's 2 hours, you're there a week.
Yeah.
So with moms, especially when they're trying to jumpstart their milk, like, oh, my milk has gone down, it's been a couple of days. I'm like, okay, fine, do 2 power pumps in a day. So it's almost like a rapid, it mimics cluster feeding. It's literally almost sending urgent signals to your brain. We need milk. We need milk. We need milk. Because you're pumping for 20 minutes, then you rest. You pump for 10, then you rest. You pump for 10, then you rest. Yeah. And I always tell moms, please put an alarm, especially if you're power pumping at 4 a.m.
Yes.
Because there's a few times that 10-minute rest, I wake up 2 hours later and I'm like, okay, fine. You clearly did not power pump. I'm like, it has to last an entire hour.
Yes.
So I'm like, put an alarm. Those 10 minutes go by very fast.
Yeah.
So power pumping is really good, especially when you're really trying to get your milk supply. And you don't do it for long. It's just 3 days.
Yes.
So once the milk starts coming, normal, then you just go back to your normal pumping.
Yes. And you can, you can find ways to keep yourself busy during those times so that, because you just find yourself sitting for hours on end.
By yourself in the dark.
By yourself in the dark.
Is,
calling. The person who kept me company with content was Abel Mutua's content with my last baby. I was watching Mkuru's. Thank you, Abel, for being my breastfeeding partner. I watched those stories. And it helped me just pass the time and not even, get too stressed and too much in my head about what was happening. So,
because even when we WhatsApp moms, when we get up in the morning, when we're checking the phone, you see messages at 2, 3 in the morning. I'm like, I see you're pumping.
Yes.
Because you're messaging me very early. She's like, it's the only time I could get on the phone and just do things. I'm like,
Oh my gosh. Is there a right time to stop breastfeeding?
No.
Yeah.
It's honestly up to you. There are some that say, let me just get to the 6 months. Because WHO recommends that you breastfeed exclusively for 6 months.
Yeah.
And up to 2 years once you start weaning.
Yes.
So ideal, most you'll find around 2 years they stop. But
Yeah.
some, if you feel like going up to 3 years, don't let anybody shame you. It's up to you. Again,
your baby
your milk is liquid gold.
Yeah.
Baby's still getting the right nutrients.
Yes.
And, follow baby's cue. And
Yeah.
baby wants to stop breastfeeding, they'll tell you.
Yeah. So I know that we've talked about making sure that you're eating right, you're eating well. Sometimes though we do find ourselves as new moms being overfed. Like everyone just wants you like to just kula hi, kunywa hi, kula hi. And then sometimes the frustration is you end up packing on so much weight, or situations where what you're eating is giving baby gas and colic and all of these things. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
What's the balance?
So these are some of the support that we give at Lactacare.
Yeah.
We walk you through your nutrition. We walk you through the things that you need to do.
Yeah.
So we always say you're eating 6 to 7 times a day.
Okay.
And every time I say that, mom's like, what?
I know,
I'm like,
how
no,
many?
listen. You have your 3 meals.
Yes.
And then you have your 3 snacks.
Oh, okay. In between.
Correct.
Yes.
And those are important because you have moms, they'll eat breakfast. And then you're like, no, but I was not hungry at lunch.
Yes.
They're eating again dinner. But I'm like, mommy, you need energy to make milk.
Yeah.
So the rule we always say is you eat for 1 and drink for 2.
Oh, that's a good one. Say it again, please, Karen.
You drink for 1.
Yes.
And
No,
you eat for 1
Yes.
and drink for 2.
Uh-huh.
So, and most do the opposite. They eat for 2
Yes.
and they're drinking for 1.
Oh.
Just because they're like, oh, but I have a baby.
Yeah.
We're 2 of us. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
'Cause that's how now you have the weight gain because you're
Yeah.
doubling your plate.
Yes.
You eat your normal portions,
Okay.
but you eat them frequently.
Yes.
And then now your hydration. Because before, ideally now you're supposed to take 2 liters
Yeah.
of water. So
Yeah.
when you have a baby, we say do at least 3 liters. So you eat for 1 and drink for 2. That's the golden rule.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. I'll remember that. Not for me because I am done. But
Are you sure?
But for people around me, I will remember that to eat for 1 but drink for 2.
Yes.
What about people with multiples?
Same.
Same rule applies. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you're hungry, you're eating.
Correct. Yeah.
But don't overfill your plate.
Yeah.
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 Because again, it's the same milk supply. Just because you have 2 does not mean your milk is going to double.
Yes.
It'll be the same, but obviously, especially if you're breastfeeding, you're pumping, your milk will know. Your body will know how much milk to produce to make sure.
So, and that also leads me to ask, so for moms with multiples or, triplets or whatever, does it mean, because now in our head we're like, will I have enough milk for 2? Will I have enough milk for 3 or 4, whatever, how many they have? Will they have enough milk for?
You will.
Yeah.
You will have. Again, if you're doing what you need to do.
Yes.
You're feeding on demand, you are pumping. Yes, obviously it's going to be a lot harder. Now you have multiples.
Yeah.
But obviously, no. It still works the same way.
Yeah.
Right? You have to eat a balanced diet. You have to hydrate.
Yeah.
Hydration is important. I cannot stress it enough.
Yeah.
Because breast milk is made up of 80% water.
Yes.
So you need to put in liquids.
Yeah.
Liquids come out and rest. Yeah. I mean, obviously with multiples, there's a lot more.
Correct.
Fatigue.
Yeah.
So always, again, have that community, have that support. And obviously you have, if you need extra help,
yes.
You have
yes.
lactation products that we help, and we offer all that, including the support that a mom needs. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there help for a colicky baby?
Yes.
Okay.
Colic is, not all babies get colic.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of moms who assume a baby has colic.
Yes.
And there is just probably just gas.
Mm.
But colic is one of those things that it passes. It is the most stressful time because your baby, the same hour.
Yeah.
Usually they cry around the same time of day for almost 3 hours straight.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I don't know how it feels. My baby didn't have colic, but from the stories I hear.
Yeah.
But with colic babies, you should avoid foods that give you gas.
Okay.
So again, this is why information is important. Don't take fenugreek. Fenugreek causes a lot of gas. You have your cabbage,
Yes.
beans, anything in the bean family, Jahes, beans, anything.
Ooh,
Sometimes
our aunties
eggs.
are coming for you. But yeah, you're
Fermented
right.
porridge
Yeah,
also can
yeah,
cause gas. Sometimes eggs.
Yeah.
So you really have to watch your nutrition
Yeah.
with babies with colic.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
definitely watch your
I also
nutrition.
didn't have colicky babies, but I do remember our very first pediatrician, this elderly Asian man. He was very. I remember the first thing he said, "Don't eat njahe." It stayed with me. I was like, "Oh my gosh." And I was like, "You just like canceled everything I knew,"
Correct.
because we know when you have a baby, give them jahe, give them porridge, give them. He's like, "Don't do fermented porridge. Don't do." But he kept saying, "Drink water. I need you to drink water. I need you to drink water." So this information is so good. My last question: tell me about, some women have an inverted nipple. What kind of help can they get?
This is with inverted nipples. This is why it's important even before you deliver.
Yeah.
That you get checked, especially those breastfeeding classes. These are some of the topics that are covered.
Okay.
They'll check your breast, or if you have a lactation specialist,
Yeah.
they'll check your breast for inversion, and there are things that you can do even beforehand.
Okay.
Like you could be told to start pumping. Pumping is really good.
Yes.
Because it kind of
Pulls
it's
it
literally
out.
pulling out
Yeah.
your nipple.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are some moms who are able to breastfeed.
Yeah.
And there's a little device.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember what it's
Shield.
called.
Is it
Yes,
not-
a nipple
yeah?
shield that they can use
Yeah.
to allow baby to feed, because there are some that's just how the breast is, and
Yeah.
baby can't latch on properly.
Okay.
So there are tools that
help.
and
Yeah.
that they can do.
Talking about the nipple shield, women who have gotten sores, maybe baby isn't latching right or whatever. First of all, is it because baby's not latching right that we end up getting sores, or is there another reason? And what can a mom do if they are in that place where when they hear the baby is crying, they're like, even me,
Yeah.
I'm crying because what is coming?
Yes, one of the number one causes of nipple cracking,
Yeah.
sometimes it gets so bad that nipples bleed, is
Yeah.
babies not latching properly.
Yeah.
You find if you're breastfeeding and you hear that noise, it means the latch is wrong.
Yeah.
Because you should hear the swallow from here, not here.
Yeah.
If you hear clicking,
Yeah.
it means they're latching wrong.
Oh,
and
mummies, I hope you've heard.
they shouldn't. The baby's mouth shouldn't be on the nipple.
Okay.
It should be an entire black the areola.
Yes.
So if you find that you have cracked nipples, applying nipple cream is good, especially the ones where you don't need to wipe off before you breastfeed.
Yes.
Those ones are good.
The safe ones, yeah.
Again, use your breast milk.
Yeah. Oh.
Liquid gold. It's
Yeah.
liquid gold for a reason. Just
It will heal.
apply breast milk and let it air dry. Yeah.
It's going to be fine, mamas. It's going to be just fine.
It is.
Oh my gosh. I feel when I ask one question, I feel like I have another and I have another, but I feel like this is...
Also, one thing that I find moms don't know.
Yeah.
When you've pumped your milk, for
Yeah.
example, and
Yeah.
baby doesn't finish, please don't throw the milk. Because I know it has, once you heat up milk, you only have 2 hours.
Okay. Yes.
But after the 2 hours, you find moms pouring the milk.
Yeah.
in
What
the
can
sink.
they do with it?
Put it in the baby's bath water.
Oh my gosh. They'll have a milk bath.
water. So good for the skin. And it's really good for eczema too.
That sounds so bougie. I love it.
Also, I'm sorry to say, but it will smell.
Okay, so it's like the cabbage.
There'll be a scent because your breast will have scent. But no, the trade-off, it's really good for their skin. So don't ever waste breast milk.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like that. How long can breast milk stay in the freezer?
If it's the top compartment of a fridge,
Yeah.
they say about 8 months.
Okay.
8 months. If it's like a deep freezer,
Yes.
up to a year.
Okay.
In the fridge,
Regular fridge?
4 days, 4 to 6 days. 6 days, you're pushing it.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you're constantly opening the fridge. So it's always good if you have to put it in the fridge, put it right at the back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if it's outside on your counter,
Yes.
for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And you cannot, once milk has thawed, you cannot refreeze it. That is it.
Yes.
If it still has ice crystals inside, then you can put it back in the freezer.
Okay.
But once it thaws, that's it. You have your
You have to use it.
24 hours.
Yeah.
You must use it in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Otherwise, then now put it in the bath.
Yes.
If you have a pimple, mama, just put it on there.
Oh,
Hey!
liquid goals
telling
for
you.
real.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. Last one. Last, Karen. Last. So for mothers who have to supplement, maybe through formula, or is there a preference between cow's milk, goat's milk, camel milk, all of that other milk? Because it's a debate I've also heard many times. If you're not giving formula, if you can't get formula, get goat's milk. Don't get cow's milk. What's the conversation around that?
One, it's always recommended that you don't give kids cow's milk until they're 1.
Yes.
So if you must supplement, formula is the way to go.
If you can't get formula?
If you can't, yeah, because they
I'm
say cow's
thinking-
milk have,
Yes.
baby's not able to digest
break it
properly.
down.
But again, if your baby's lactose intolerant, then you'll have to go with the goat's milk or the oat's milk.
Yes.
And all that.
Yeah.
It's really up to your preference,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah. And maybe what advice from the doctor
correct,
as well.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, guys, Yani, you better thank me for this free consult I have given you on breastfeeding. Mkingia huko maternity ward. Yani, remember these words. Remember what Karen has told you. If you need to watch this video again, bookmark it, save it, so that you can remember some of those. She's dropped so many gems for us to just remember, some of which I wish I knew at the time. But now you get an opportunity to share with your sisters, with your mommies, with anybody who is on that journey and just needs a little help. Breastfeeding is a beautiful thing, and it can be a lot easier than it's been made to look if you have the right help. Get community, get Lactacare Kenya. How can we contact Lactacare?
We're on social media.
Yes.
Instagram at Lactacare Kenya.
Yes.
Facebook at Lactacare Kenya KE. If you Google us, you'll find our contacts there. We're on WhatsApp, and we're happy to walk the breastfeeding journey with you.
Yeah.
Breastfeeding doesn't have to be lonely.
Yes.
If you don't have a village, seek us for support.
Yeah.
We always, we're a hub of lactation, nutrition, and information.
I love it, yeah.
And one of the things that we pride ourselves in is we understand that moms have different allergies, different preferences, and we're able to customize. We bake our products fresh on order, and we're able to customize our products. So if you're gluten allergy, lactose intolerant, diabetes, just let us know, and we're able to customize our products to suit your allergies and aversions.
Thank you for saying that. I do remember, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I remember first telling you guys, I get so much acidity.
Correct,
There's
yes.
something you took out of my cookies. Fenugreek.
Yes.
That is so special.
Because that fenugreek causes gas.
Yes.
And not many moms know it.
Yeah.
It's like, my baby has gas. I'm like, what are you taking? Because normally when baby has gas, we always want to know. So we tell you, what have you eaten? From 4 a.m., what exactly have you eaten? And I want to know in detail. If you chewed gum, I want to know the brand.
Ooh, Yeah.
So that's how deep we go into figuring out how we can better support you.
Yeah.
And you find, I took fenugreek water. Did you have anything? Like, I took water, I took tea. Did you put anything inside? Fenugreek seeds.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, but I was told, it helps. I'm like, fenugreek is very good.
Yes.
But the gas, sleepless nights.
You have something else to deal with.
Yeah. You have to remove that. So.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karen. I mean, it's been so good. I'm going to stop because I have I'm itching to ask more questions, but I will stop. You have to come back. You and Hannah.
Definitely,
you have to come back because I know even after this episode goes out, there will be, so many more questions that I obviously am not equipped to answer, but you've answered the questions so well. Thank you for your time. Karen, you're so stunning. I was just looking at this woman and I'm like, who pulls off a bald head like this woman?
Thank you.
Is there a reason you cut your hair?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been struggling with alopecia for many years.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Actually, no. Let's just say from 2015.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happened. I just realized that my hair was falling off.
Yeah.
And obviously, women, we want to hold on to our hair. We think it's our beauty. So
yeah.
I tried my best to, to hide it, to figure it out, went to doctors. And I researched. I researched a lot.
Yeah.
And for the last couple of years, I was contemplating shaving it off. I'm like, maybe I should just shave it off. Like, why am I struggling?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think breastfeeding made it worse. Because, another challenge in breastfeeding, your edges.
Yeah,
edges get so touched.
Oh my gosh. Mine went. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, so I think it reached a point I was holding on to thin, very... It's something I've been thinking about for a couple of years. I was just afraid on how it will look.
Yeah.
So 3 weeks ago, I was like, you know what? I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired of trying to figure out the next hairstyle. I'm tired of, you know, hiding it with the wigs and all that. I'm like, let me just take the plunge.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work out, I'll just wear wigs.
But look at you.
But yeah.
It worked out like 100 plus. You're stunning.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm like, I know there are people watching, they're like, Haya. Acha mimi ninaweza jaribu.
No, honestly, it's honestly the best decision.
Oh, wow.
Best decision. I feel good.
Yeah. I mean, I think you did mention that you had alopecia, but also the fact that breastfeeding also really works with the hormones doing everything that they're doing. And maybe a good place to finish for women is keeping up with your supplements.
Correct.
Even after you've had the baby, because you're losing so much, your body needs to be replenished. So if you do that, please, that your calcium, your whatever, you know, because later we hear after breastfeeding, people, apart from hair, there are people who lose teeth. There's like all sorts of things can happen, and we don't want them to happen. We want you to thrive through every season. Karen, thank you. You're so awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. It's been wonderful.
Thank you. And love to your baby.
I will.
Yes. All right, guys. That's it for today. We will catch you again next time. Thank you so much for being a part of this family on Being Kambua. Bye. God bless you.
I don't know how, but I just jumped into the road with vehicles coming from this side and this side. I just jumped right in the middle. And from nowhere, a certain lady came and got hold of me. And she was shouting, and I look at her and she asks me, why are you going into the middle of the road? And I tell her my sister is dead. She says, what do you mean your sister is dead? I tell her my sister was admitted at the hospital, but she's dead. She's like, okay, who told you your sister is dead?